right, let's get started. So I am recording this so that we'll be able to broadcast it out later. So it's not being Zoomed. I'm using Zoom to record it, but that way we'll have it for everybody that was unable to make it to Salt Lake City. First off, welcome. Appreciate everybody being here. Everybody enjoying the mansion so far? That's cool. Very cool. What I wanted to do is give a little bit of we've got a lot of folks that have been here since the beginning. We've got some folks that have literally just joined in the last couple days that are here, and people that are going to be watching this. So I was going to go over just a little kind of how do we get to where we're at real briefly, and then where do I see us as a team going for where I want to take this thing. And I've been sharing it with a lot of people, getting a lot of input from a lot of people, and we got something that's really going to be neat for the rest of the year. So pretty good plan. We'll alter it as we go. Whole plan, do, review, adjust. I'm going to give y'all the plan, and then we'll go out and do it and review it and adjust it as necessary. So when we got going, the first summit that we did was in October 12th, 2017, and that's when we really kind of started going down a different path. We were doing a lot following Team Fusion. Team Fusion's vision has changed over time, different personnel, different personalities, different thoughts on how things are going to go. And as it kept changing, kept taking all the good parts out of it, and then we kind of went down a specific path with the concept of the Jade Factory and turning it into something where it didn't require a new person to come in and learn every single thing there is to know about network marketing as a profession. It was, how do we get somebody brand new to step in and be able to use the team when they don't have to sit there and spend 6 months learning everything? They can actually be in income producing activity in a matter of hours. And that was the vision. So I made this as big as I could. When y'all were out walking, I went and tried it on here, and I made a lot of adjustments. So that's why I wasn't with you guys. I wanted to check this out. So state of the factory. So plan on the page has been one of the biggest things that we have, and it's one of the cornerstones of our organization. And what that is a simple document that it's simple, it's specific. It talks about the desire at the top. It goes through, who are the names of some people that 5 names on a page. And that starts the process of getting you out of your head and start considering somebody else, where it's not about you, it's about them. And then what we do is when we have a conversation, and that's one of the biggest things, is having a conversation and not being carpet bombing is what I call it, throwing up blueberries on them. It's actually, instead of telling them how you're so interesting and you're so amazing and you have such an amazing business and amazing products, they don't care. They don't. They want to know what's in it for them. And all it sounds like is, while your intention is good, that you want to do it for them, that's not how it comes across. It doesn't matter what your intent is. It matters how it landed on them. And so that's where we want to make it about them. And we have a conversation about them, basically asking them where it hurts, getting that to come out. And if somebody's having a tough day, it doesn't take a whole lot of probing to get them to talk about that, does it? If you listen and pay attention to any conversation, they're going to tell you what's going on in their life. Just let them do it. Sometimes you got to probe them a little bit. Sometimes you got to push them along a little bit. But that's where we talk about the light switch in our design on the back of the back of your shirts that you've gotten. That light switch is to have that conversation with them. When you're having that conversation, it'll continue on until you get to that point where you can check a box to say it hurts here. I listened to them, and now I've observed it, or I'm starting to get a feeling that it's this, and you keep working your way in there, and then you got what you believe is the thing. When that happens, the second step there is then you got to ask them permission. You got to ask them if that's something that they want to fix. After that, that's the scale. That's where we weigh. We weigh their answer to find out. Based on that, the next step is very, very simple, and that's passing the ball. That's getting this to somebody else. Because they know you've had this conversation, and if you try to be the expert with everybody that you already know, they know you're not the expert. Even if you are the expert, they know that you're not the expert. So that's where we pull the lever and we move them on to the next step, or send them to the plumber. I try to give all the different analogies that are used for that to get it clear. So this was a huge step on what we built. Shooters was another big thing that we built, because that's the part of the factory where you pass it to. That's who you pass the ball to, is to your shooters. And your shooters are the folks that are able to, they're producers first off. They've gone through what you've done. They followed the process and they've seen the success of it. And then they become the trainer. It's training the trainer. Now they're there to be able to help you. And so it's like, I call them my Navy SEALs. And I call everybody else as you're in the Army. And when you're in the Army, you're brand new and you're a little scared, not really sure what's going on, don't know where the bathroom is, don't know any of those things. And if you have somebody that's been there before you, that's been in a couple fights, then there's a lot more confidence with them. So that's what they do. Shooting the terrorist off the shoulders of the people on the factory floor. That doesn't mean they're shooting the people. We'll be clear on this. This is where you're making sure that that little terrorist that climbs up on your shoulder, as a shooter, they're making sure that that gets shot off. And when you have somebody with you that's been there and done that, it's a whole lot easier. When you're by yourself, that little terrorist is a mean SOB. It's pretty tough. But when you have somebody with you, it's a whole lot easier. Not saying it's a done deal, but it's so much easier. So that's what their job is to do. Another analogy is they're riding shotgun in the dump truck. All right? Everybody know what shotgun is, right? Okay, y'all heard that term before. I won't say anything, Kathy. I'll move on. And so there's going to be some pins that we're going to get for the team. We're going to have Jade Factory pins. It's going to be similar to this logo. And then we're going to have another pin that's going to be a double barrel shotgun. And it's going to cause some people to go, what is that? And so that's where that whole concept comes from, is riding shotgun in the dump truck and picking off the terrorists. That's what they're shooting. So then the factory itself, the conveyor belt. The whole point of this is so that there's a system in place when somebody comes in, they don't have to do all the parts. All they got to do is their main part. The factory, go back to Henry Ford days, when he built the assembly line, which caused mass production to become a thing. When people come in, they don't know everything about building the car. They know that they simply sit there on this conveyor belt and something comes around and they take this little nut and they put it on this bolt and they screw it on. And then it moves along and they get good at that. If they'll get good at that, then maybe they do another thing. And maybe they do another thing. Maybe they get into management. Maybe they get into shooters where they can show other people how to do that. But you don't have to. But you do have to learn how to do that one thing. And that's what the conveyor belt concept is there for. So launching, being able to have that be something that is done for you. Having, floating the ones that don't want to fix it. So when we're asking them, do you want to fix that? And they say no. We have a process for that. You send them down the river, give them a cold beer, put them in an inner tube, and out they go. And what that does is it preserves a relationship. So all this is in the mind of how to work with other human beings on the way that they like to be worked with. And it's amazing that we interact with so many human beings and we don't consider these things. We just have it in our head. And of course they should know that. And that's the beginning of misunderstanding. And that's why most people aren't successful in this business. Like, why doesn't anybody want to do this? Why doesn't anybody want to take this product? Why? Because we're going about it the wrong way. That's what this factory is built for. The I Know a Guy video, that was something that we introduced in as well for scale, because everybody's like, how are you going to take all those phone calls? And I said, don't worry about it. We got the automation. We've taken that and we've taken that to another level. And we'll show that here in a second. But the whole idea of the I Know a Guy video is when you're talking to somebody, you find out where it hurts and you ask them if they want to fix it and they say yes, we want to be able to pass that to somebody, to an expert. And that's going to be the shooters, or it's going to be point to a video that's going to be able to answer their questions and take care of what it is that they've got going on. So that's how we got to where we're at. Now that we've proven out that the factory works, and we have proved it time and time and time again, I don't need you all to, I don't want to say that. I just have so much data that the factory works that it's really not in question. It's a matter of, are you using the factory? That's really what it comes down to. And so what I want to do is take that to the next stage on how do we use this factory better. Scale. It's like we've got this automated Mercedes-Benz factory system that is working beautifully. Automated, it's crazy. But we're having a problem with supplying it with raw material. The way this whole thing is built, the way network marketing is built, is it's built on relationships. You all have relationships with people. That's the raw material, if you will. Not everybody's going to want to do what we do. Completely fine. But there's a ton of people in your sphere of influence that does want to do that. So how do we get those people to take a look at what we do? That is the concept of network marketing. You take your network and you market to it. That's what we do. Those conversations is marketing. Finding out what they want and then knowing that we've got the thing that we might be able to offer them. That's the whole idea. But if you all don't take that sphere of influence that you have and all those people that you know and run them through the factory, it doesn't matter how amazing this factory is, right? It doesn't do anything. Now it's doing stuff, it's just not doing something for you. So what I want to make sure is that you all know exactly how to get the material into the factory. How do you do your part? And so when we've proved out by sending a whole lot of tests through, and there's a lot of people here as a result of the tests that we did, it works. So now we got to get more material in. The biggest thing that's missing is getting a brand new person to feel comfortable enough to do the things that they need to do. I call that driving the dump truck. When you see our logo, it's got a dump truck. That dump truck is hauling raw material to the factory. Doesn't matter how great the factory is, you got to be able to operate that dump truck. So what we've been doing is we've been explaining, we've been talking, we've been training, we've been doing it until we're blue in the face on how to drive this dump truck. But it hit me a month and a half, 2 months ago. It really, really hit me because I was going through a process of learning some new things. And me going through that reminded me that I don't know how to do that. And it was a little fearful. It was a little unnerving. It was fish out of water. It's like, okay, I'm hearing what y'all are saying, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this myself. And then it hit me. If I can actually sit with somebody that's done this before, this isn't that hard of a concept. It's just getting off the starting line. It's just taking that first step and doing that. What does that? Having somebody sit next to me is what allows that to happen. So we've got a campaign. The campaign is going to be called the One Conversation Away Challenge. And there's going to be another variation of that. But for this one, it's going to be a Casey Salge-led course. It's going to have 5 people in that course only. So you're going to get a good ratio of 5 to 1 instead of having 30 to 1 and not feeling comfortable being able to come ask questions. It's going to be a 30-day thing, but it's going to consist of, for the actual interaction with me, it's going to be a 3-hour live event, and that's either going to be in person or through Zoom. So we'll have that set up. And if you don't live in Houston or you can't get to my house, then you want to do that online, no problem whatsoever. I'm looking at our Florida folks, our Canadian folks. So anybody, anywhere, Austin, doesn't matter. You'll be able to get in and participate in this. And what it's going to be is it's not going to be a whole lot of talking. It's going to be a whole lot of doing. And that's what's necessary is the doing. And when you're sitting with somebody telling you specifically what to do, it's a whole lot easier. I'll take you back to when you first learned to drive. Everybody remember first time that they drove? Yeah? And so what did they do? You sat in a classroom for a little while, right? And you're sitting there and you're taking notes and you're watching all the stupid videos and the cartoons and all these things that they're showing you, and they're drawing it on the chalkboard on what to do. Y'all remember all that? And then what happened right after that? When you got done with that, did they just give you the keys and say, all right, man, good luck. Don't kill nobody. No, so maybe Canada, I tell you what, man. What they should have done is actually give a practical where you get in the car and there's an instructor on the shotgun spot, and he's got his own steering wheel, he's got a brake, he's got a gas, all right? And then you had 2 freaked out people behind you so that they could be real efficient. And then y'all all rotated through the 3 of you, right? And then that person goes home that was in the shotgun seat, and they go home, they start drinking and thank the good Lord that they made it to another day. All right, so and then you didn't do that just one time. You had to do that and do that. And then finally you got to a point, it's like, okay, I got this. And then you went out on your own and did it because you'd already proven that you could do it and you had the confidence to do it. Here's what we've been doing in the Jade Factory. We just keep saying in the classroom. We keep talking about it in the classroom. We keep explaining to 1,000 different ways the exact same concepts for the last 1.5, 2 years in Power Hour, in regionals, in any training, Road to Jades, relaunches. It's all saying the same stuff because there's not that much stuff, right? But it doesn't matter how many times you talk about it. Some people get that and there's a burning fire underneath of them where they'll go drive the dump truck regardless if there was somebody in the seat next to them. But those are special circumstances, and that's not normal for everybody to have that. When you have to, when there is no other option, then you go out and drive the dump truck. But if you've got the other option to do something else and you haven't quite got over that fear, activity doesn't go anywhere. Material stops coming to the factory. Jade stopped walking out of the factory. Make sense? So that's what this is going to be for. So the 30 days total, it's going to be the 3 hours live with me, and then we'll have a 1 hour session one-on-one. And then we'll have another one of those one-on-one. So I'll do that for all 5 people. So for my side of it, it'll be a 3 hour session, and then I'll have 5 1 hour items the following week, and then 5 1 hour items the following week. For you, it's going to be sitting with me and 4 other people in the car. It's a big dump truck, so y'all can all fit in the back. And we're going to rotate around, and we're literally going to be sitting there. You're going to have your phone, and I'm going to be there with you, and we're going to actually do the driving. I'm going to show you. You're going to. What do I say here? I'm going to say, give me the damn phone. I'm going to type it for you. All right. I'm going to grab you by the thumbs, and I'm going to push your thumbs on the little keypad to make the thing happen. Okay. And we're going to do that. So that's from your perspective. And then from your perspective, you'll have a 1 hour session with me the following week, and then a 1 hour session with me the following week. Okay. And then after that, you're going to be going after it. You can always message me, text me. You have me available for all that. But from a one-on-one perspective, that's what you're going to get. That's going to be $75 to do that, okay? Because if there's no money on it, then it ain't going to be meaningful to you, okay? And so that's to sit down with me for those 3 hours, and then a 1 hour one-on-one for this event, okay? Any questions on that? Make sense? Okay. The other thing that we're going to be doing is you're going to, so the first one of these is going to be held in about 2.5 hours. I'm going to sit with all of the shooters. We're going to disperse from here. We're going to go down to the media room. If you're a shooter, you get to come in. If not, y'all are going to have to start drinking and having fun. But I'm going to have the shooters come in, and we're going to do that work. And when I get done with them, they're all certified. They're going to know exactly what I'm talking about with this thing. They already know how to do what I'm talking about. We're just going to make sure that it's nailed down. And in an hour and a half, we're going to have, there's 13, I counted, there's 13 shooters. There's 12 shooters and me. There's going to be 100 reach outs that we're going to do each. So by 4:30 this afternoon, there will be 1,200 people that are going to have a conversation started with them. I'm going to show y'all how this thing goes with them. When they get done with that, they're going to be able to have dump truck driving academy or dump truck driving lessons. I haven't figured out what we're going to call it, but it's something like that. And these are going to be shooter led. And so, for instance, Michelle has been having events at her house, and we're doing PBRs. How hard is it to get somebody to actually show up to one of those things, right? To get a guest. Wouldn't it be a whole lot better if we took that time with all those people sitting there to be able to reach out to a lot of people? And that's the type of thing we're going to have set up all over the place. We'll do it online. We'll have 1 hour sessions, maybe 90-minute sessions. We'll see how it goes. And it's literally sitting there and doing work. Because we can talk about it all day long about you need to go home and do it. And then we know how that goes, right? Life shows up. We'll just call it life. Life shows up, right? Sometimes it's in the form of Netflix. Sometimes it's in Amazon Prime. It's you got to get your Game of Thrones in. I get it. Been there, done that. But when you're together, it causes something special to happen. And so as long as there's 2 of you, then it's turned into a dump truck driving academy. And then you hold each other accountable to actually do the work. Because this is all we do, is this work. This is all you have to do. The other thing that's going to happen is we're going to have recipe books. So imagine the 1,200 conversations that we're getting ready to kick off here in a couple of hours. Imagine all of those conversations as individual threads, a string from us to them, and then from us to the next person, us to the next. And each shooter has 100 of those, and then the next shooter has 100 of those. So we have 1,200 of these threads, right? One-on-one conversations. Imagine if we were able to pull all of those and put them in a recipe book. Similar to what if everybody here reached out to 100 people and asked for their best apple pie recipe, and they get those back. And then we build a book of 1,200 recipes on how to make apple pie. You think you could maybe scrounge up an apple pie some way, some fashion if you had that book? It'd make it a hell lot easier, right? You start flipping through, it's like, okay, recipe, I want that special one that they had, the fibromyalgia recipe. There it is. That's somebody that had fibromyalgia, and this was the thread that they went. Oh shit, there's 17 of them. That's kind of cool. I can pick from that. Then I can make it my own, right? It's got to be you, but you use that as the beginning. Pretty cool, right? Then imagine when we have 5 people sitting with me for the one conversation away challenge, and each of you do 100 over, I'm going to give you 30 days to go through all that. Now we're going to reach out to a whole bunch, but the thread's going to continue on, right? So what if there was 500 more conversations as a result of that? And what if I did 5 of those courses for another 2,500 conversations, plus the 1,200 we're getting ready to have here? That's 3,700 ways to make an apple pie. Now, some of them are going to suck. They're going to be terrible. They ain't going to taste good. You ain't going to like it. Guess what? You don't have to eat it. Some of them ain't going to reply. They're not going to send you their apple pie recipe. It ain't going to happen. It's going to be dead in the water. So we're going to get some crazy numbers out of this too, right? So that's the idea of what this is. So you're going to see some scribble. This was me on the airplane burning this machine down, drain the battery, taking all these parts and then expanding on them a little bit more. So that's the scribble. And I just want to make sure I bring these up so that I don't forget anything. But I told you about that 3-hour course, 5-to-1 ratio, and then 2 1-hour one-on-ones. Those will be in Zoom. Okay, that won't be in person. The only thing in person with me, plus Zoom, if you're not in Houston, is going to be the 3-hour. And then it's going to be a 1-hour Zoom, and we'll find it where it works for both of our schedules. Okay? All right, dates that, and don't hold me to these dates, but this is what I was jotting down. I got to chat with my wife who's getting here in a little bit, make sure I can actually do all this stuff. But starting on June 1st, which is a Saturday, and then it would be on June 15th would be when the next Saturday course is, July 29th, June 29th, July 13th, and July 27th. And then those will be the 5 days where I got to be able to find the time to sit with y'all, okay? So big thing is look on your calendar, start on June 1st, and then the next one's June 15th, and then you'll see the cadence that it's every 2 weeks in between. I'm going to do one of those Saturday sessions, okay? Good? Any questions on that? Okay, get the concept, right? There won't be a test, don't worry. All right, so the way the recipe is going to be, when we're sitting there, I'm going to need y'all's help with that, okay? I'm going to need you guys to submit that to me because you're going to be having the conversation with your 100 people, right? Or 2 people or 30 people or 5,000 people, whatever it is, but you're having those conversations. When you're doing that, I want you to do these on Messenger, okay? And here's why. Because on Messenger, you can do it from your phone. You can also do it from a computer. When you go onto a computer, it's a whole lot easier. You see all the threads that you have, and then you can literally drag and drop and highlight the entire back and forth conversation, and then you would be able to submit that. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to redact the names. There won't be any names. Nobody's going to know anything that they're sharing with you. It's just going to be a conversation, okay? If there's anything specific that would out somebody, we're going to redact that so that we don't have to worry about that. Make sense? So there's got to be a mechanism for you guys to be able to submit that. I'm going to do something like Google Forms. We did that one time on one of the summits where y'all would come in and you would give me your numbers. And then I was taking that and I was putting it in. And finally, I just opened up a spreadsheet so that y'all could enter your numbers yourself. But there was a time where we would enter that stuff in. That's how we'll do it. And there'll be sections because if you hack a conversation, it has a couple of key things to it. And that's what this is. So the first part is the reach out. And then they're going to reply. That's the little small talk stuff that you do, right? That's just, hi, how are you doing? And they come back and say, I'm doing great. How about you? That's going to be the first section. The next section is building the rapport. That's when you're asking how things are going. It's the small talk, if you will. And what you can use to kick that off is form, family, occupation, recreation, motivation, or money. Ask them how their family is. Ask them how their job is. Ask them if they've gone anywhere. Ask them if they've got anything. If nothing comes out of that, nothing came out of that, right? No big deal. Go on to the next conversation. As you're going back and forth, chances are, if they've got a thing, it's going to come up. Oh, you know, job sucks. Thinking about moving back to Cyprus. Thinking about doing this, that, and the other. Had that chat with Linda when she came in. We were catching up. It came out. She just brought it up, right? So having that conversation, if she wasn't already in the business, I'd say, well, I'm catching on a couple things, and I dig in. That's the thing that I think is the thing. But that's not enough. You got to dig further. So that's the back and forth building the rapport until you identify what checkbox. Then you got to get into the next part, and this is where a lot of people, their first mistake is that they immediately ask, you want to fix that? You got to make sure that you feel felt found. You got to make sure you empathize with them. You got to make sure that you connected with them. You got to make sure that they know you heard them. Doesn't matter if you were listening. That's important. But they don't know if it actually landed or if you were thinking about something else. So you got to make sure that part happens. We'll capture that. We'll put that into a section. And then you'll be able to go through in your recipe book and look at what thousands of other conversations were at that point. How did you do that? What was some of the things you used? Then we'll get to the easy part on, do you want to fix it? That's real simple. And then they're going to say, and then you go back and forth with that. And you're weighing, you're finding out how serious of a thing that is. That could be one sentence. It could take 6 days. Who knows? It could take a year before all that actually comes somewhere. And then there's going to be the introduce. You're going to pass the ball. Let me introduce you to somebody that can fix that. That'll be the next part of the conversation. Every conversation that we do falls into those buckets. Now, every conversation is completely unique. But if you hack it and you break it down to its parts, those are the main parts. Make sense? Okay. And then we'll have what the outcome is. Okay? So we're going to track these over time. You're going to have to do a little bit of work on this part. But that's part of what the challenge is for. And think about this. When you get this figured out, imagine how easy it is when your new person comes on and you just hand them this thing. This is stupid, right? How easy is this? Then you can smack them with it if they're not doing anything, because it's going to be pretty thick. It'll be good. Okay, dump truck driving school, talked about that. So what's going to happen in that 60 to 90 minutes? 50 to 100 reach outs. Starting the conversation. We are so worried about what's going to happen on the next step that we never do the first step. What am I going to say? What are they going to think of me? What's going to happen? That's your terrorist. And you never even pull out of the damn parking lot with your dump truck. We've got this beautiful factory. We have this huge parking lot full, just lined up like tanks, man, these dump trucks. They're shiny, pristine. There's not a scratch on them. They're not dirty. Why? Because you haven't driven them anywhere. And here's what we're doing. We're walking through with these bullhorns, right? Cherry's walking through yelling at everybody. Do this, do that. Okay, sounds good. We start the ignition, right? Then we ease out. Okay, got it. And then you go up in the cab and you have a nap. You don't actually pull out of the factory parking lot. That's what a lot of people are doing. So instead of keep talking about it, let's go get in the dump truck and let's go run over something. Some curbs, some trees, squirrels, whatever. It's going to happen, right? There's going to be accidents. Some aren't going to go that well. And you're going to see when you get done with it, well, everybody lived. Nobody died after that conversation. Not once have I found anybody in network marketing died or went to the hospital as a result of a conversation. It could happen, but so far it hasn't. So that's what this is going to be for. So here's an assumption of some numbers. And again, this is hard to see, but I'm going to just read it out to you. And see if this passes your sniff test. Or is it a bunch of bullshit? You reach out to 100 people on a text or messenger. What's the chances that all of them are going to reply back? Right? This is not happening. There's no way you're going to get 100 people to reply back. You think you could get 50 of them to reply back? That's pretty darn conservative, right? It's probably higher, but let's go with 50. 50 people actually respond. 50 of them are, who knows where they went. Of those 50, do you think every single one is going to turn into a business partner or a customer? No, of course not. But do you think out of the 50 that responded, there's probably going to be 25 of them that just want to chat? You ever run into people like that? They're not doing anything for your business. They just want to have a conversation. How annoying is that? So that's those 25. But the other 25 of the 50 that responded, they probably got something going on in their life, right? They're probably going to mention something when you're asking them about their family and occupation, recreation, motivation. they're going to mention something. Chances are, of those 25, to make the math easy, I got rid of somebody. I don't know what happened to him, but 12 of them on the wealth side and 12 of them on the health side, right? And the health side is the whole spectrum, right? They got something wrong with them. It's science. And then the other 12 maybe wouldn't mind some extra income. Of those 12 on the wealth side that are interested, do you think if they raise their hand and say, "I mean, what you got going on?" Do you think it's possible that we could get 3 of those people to become a business partner? It's your sniff test, right? And whatever you think. Some of you aren't going to tell me what you think right now. I'm fine with that. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to run 3,700 conversations through this. And we're going to get some numbers. And when we get done, you know how cool it's going to be able to sit with somebody when they're thinking about doing the business? Say, how many people you know on Facebook? And you get your calculator out, they have 647, and you multiply it out. It says, that means we're going to be able to get 433 customers and 216 business partners because we got the numbers. That's what I'm honestly looking at, being able to refine it down to that level, okay? Now, y'all don't have to do all that stuff. I'm the crazy one doing that. Y'all just got to feed me apple pie recipes, all right? Y'all good? Y'all do that?
Is Sherry's eyes lost over yet?
Oh, she's already, she's nervous about the 100. She's getting a head start. So just don't think that everybody doesn't have fear in this thing. All right, so of the 12 on the health side, do you think we could get half of them to be a customer? So that's 3 and 7, right? You've heard that number before, haven't you? That's a Jade Factory Jade. 3 business partners, 7 customers. Because those 7 customers is going to be 500 points every month. Instead of you having to go out and keep sponsoring people and sponsoring people and sponsoring people that don't do anything, what if they got 7 customers? And as you hit a rank, you lock that rank in. It's like climbing up a mountain, Groundhog Day every day, and just slide back down. Climb up, slide down. Climb up, slide down. Right? Or maybe you go quite a ways up that mountain and you keep sliding back down. Then you got to go to another city. You climb up and then you fall back down. What if it just kept on going up? That'd be pretty cool, huh? That's what our organization does if you look at our numbers. It's insane. Why? Because this has been proven. What's missing? People driving the dump truck. So I'm going to do this so that I can prove to people the numbers. And when they see that, that's an offer. When you sit with somebody that's brand new and say, look, this is all this is all you got to do. And all of y'all have the confidence. I'd have that confidence. That's why everybody that I talk to joins. And then imagine all of y'all having that confidence too. And being able to tell them, because you see it and know it and believe it, the same way that I see it, know it and believe it, this thing is done. I mean, like done, done, done. So that's the idea. So we're going to prove out what these numbers are. So here's the next big thing. Something called funnels. You're going to be sick of hearing me talk about funnels. But I will never stop talking about funnels. So what is a funnel? So let's start with a website. You ever been to a website before? They're really easy to get around, right? There's a menu at the top. There's like 7 different menu items, right, at the top. And then when you click on that, a little drop down comes down, and then there's 6 more items that you can pick there, right? And you go to the second one, and it opens up 8 more options, and then the third one, and that has 6 options there. And then there's the About Me and the Contact Us. And you can get around, but it's not the easiest thing if it's your first time. You ever walk into a department store that's in shambles and stuff is just, there's no logic to where it's at, and you can't find what it is you're trying to do there? It's overwhelming. There's too many combinations. That's how websites are. They're great from a brochure perspective, but from actually turning into money, they're terrible. It's an anti-money collection device is really what a website is. Anybody that's ever built a website for a business knows you don't make any money with your website, right? That's just how it is. So instead of continuing to do that, that's a website. Now a web page is what makes up a website, right? So each one of those little options, when you click on it, it goes to a specific page. And you put all those together and you've got a website. So instead of having all those combinations where everyone goes everywhere, what if you had 4 web pages and that was the extent of everything? And the only way that you could get from web page 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 was to go in a linear order. You can't jump over to this one. You can't come around this one. You don't have any other ways to get. You can only go through an actual funnel. It's like you walk into the store and there's somebody right there and they say, what are you looking for? And you say, golf balls. And they say, great, get right here. And it takes you straight to the golf balls. And then you come in and say, I'm looking for barbecue pits. And it goes straight to barbecue pits. And then you come in and it says, you know what I really like is I need to go camping and I need some stuff here. Great, send you to the tents. Instead of walking around through the whole entire freaking store trying to find what it is you really cared about. Got it? That's the idea of a funnel. So in each one of these funnels, what if we had a funnel for every single benefit that the Triangle of Health offers us? Anybody ever hear that this thing helps back pain? Yeah. So if you're talking to somebody that has back pain, you start telling them about how it also helps with this. Y'all have all done it. Don't act looking at me, oh, I've never done that, Casey. Every single one of you have done that, myself included. I've got an I Know a Guy video that talks about every combination. It's hard to get that many things in a 30-minute time frame, but I did it. And they glaze over because they heard the one thing they wanted to hear, and then they heard 30 more minutes of stuff that they could care less about. You walk into the store, you're there for golf balls. Show me the damn golf balls. Stop telling me about the barbecue pits. I don't want to know about the barbecue pits. I want golf balls. I got a tea time. Let's go. So that's what funnels do. Imagine we had one for each thing. Back pain? Watch this. A little bit of video, maybe 3, 5, 10 minutes, talking only about back pain. Uncle Larry says hi. What if you had one for sleep? What if there was a video of me that tells my story only about the sleeping? Wouldn't that be awesome when you're out talking to somebody and they don't sleep well, like a doctor? Whose story was that? I've talked to so many people, so many stories. So Kathy's talking to a doctor who doesn't sleep, and she goes, I know a guy that had that same thing. And instead of putting them on the phone with me, what if there was a video on a web page that you could copy the link to and send it to the guy? And then he gets golf balls only, not the barbecue pit, not the tents. Y'all get it? When that gets done, what if when it gets done, it makes them an offer and says, hey, you should probably go ahead and get some of this stuff. And what if it had a link to your back office page in your store for them to buy it right away? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? What if you had 40 of these links, 40 of these funnels for everything that our thing does? One for back pain, one for sleep, one for PTSD, one for arthritis, Crohn's, PTSD, ADHD, depression, anxiety, inflammation, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, energy, and that's just what I came up with real quick on the plane. What if each one of these was a link that has a video from somebody that was passionate about what it did? That'd be pretty cool, huh? And then all you got to do is, some of you are going to snicker, copy, paste, and send. Wouldn't that be interesting? That's such a novel concept. I wish somebody would have come up with that a couple years ago and actually fulfilled it. Pretty powerful, huh? Pretty powerful, huh?
Wait, so they're supposed to do what they said they were doing.
Now, this is being recorded. This is being recorded. And then what if there was one for business partner? What if that's going down that 12 of those conversations for the health side? What about the wealth people? What if there was a little video that was just talking about that from the beginning, and there was a quick little inoculation that said something along the lines of, hey, there's 3 big things that people screw up with when they first get started in network marketing. There's 3 landmines. I'm going to show you how not to step on those landmines. Or something that's called a hook. You ever go fishing before? Throw the bait in the water? It's got a hook on it, right? They come by and they grab on it. Doesn't mean they're in the boat yet, right? You got to reel them in still. But it's sitting out there and they go, oh, what's that? Clicky, clicky. When y'all are sitting around talking to them, guess what? Y'all are the hook because you had a conversation. They told you exactly what they're hungry for. It's like a little bass swims up to your boat and says, let's see on the menu. Yeah, I'd like some of this and I'd like some of this. I'd like a red one and I want a black one. That would be great. Could you put that? Perfect. And then when you get done with that, you send them a link and it takes care of exactly what they're looking for. That's what this is going to do. So the first landmine that we run into is being that guy. There's 3 of them, right? You don't want to carpet bomb. You don't want to throw up on them. When you show up and you're that guy in every situation. You see them on Facebook, they annoy the crap out of you. That's being that guy. Everybody here has been that guy at one point, I can guarantee it. So don't ever forget when you get out there getting all uppity, I can't believe they're doing this. Remember back when you did it. And then help them and let them know, say, hey, you're really not fishing that well. You want to come learn how to do it? Come see what we're doing. The second thing is not connecting with people. Y'all get good at shutting up and listening, but as soon as you hear the thing, check mark, now I'm going to need to word vomit on you. Don't tell me anything else. Shut up. I got it. You don't need to tell me all the nonsense. I understand exactly what's going on in your life. Let me fix this for you. Don't be that guy. Don't do that. So now we actually have a conversation more with them, understand it. And then if you get good at 1 and 2, you can make some good money in this business. You really can. But you'll also be a little bit miserable and irritated because duplication won't happen. You'll get good at this, but you can't get the next person to get good at this in your business. So you got to have a way where you're not the guy. So there's being that guy and there's being the guy. You don't want to be the guy either, where everybody has to come to you. You don't want to be there because you can't keep up. You got to have a way to point to a tool. I don't know, like a factory or something. They just keep automating and working while you sleep at night because there's videos that they just click. Huh, that's pretty cool. Y'all getting where this is going? You connecting the dots? Anybody completely lost? Cool. So then you point to the tool, and then there's I know a guy, but it's going to be broken up to specifically what they're looking for. It's not going to have anything about the products. It's going to be specifically about the business. That's going to send them to a 1-hour automated webinar presentation. And we're going to do one of these in the future. Y'all are all going to get online. I'm going to do a presentation. Y'all are going to be in the chat channel. You're going to be asking questions. You're going to be acting like you were watching a presentation for the very first time on a webinar. You're going to be posting all of that on the little chat session that's scrolling on the right-hand side, and there's going to be a moderator. And the moderator is going to be answering those questions as they come by. And we're actually going to record this. And we're going to record it, and I'm going to say, look, y'all are blowing this up. So great to have so many people on. A lot of questions being asked. We're not going to get to all of them here. If we don't get to your question, we'll get back to you on this thing, but it's scrolling so fast. This is what we're going to do. Now we've got that recording. And then in the future, you're going to send somebody to that. You're never going to tell them it's live. You're just going to tell them it's a webinar. You're not going to lie to them. But when they get there, they're not going to know the difference, right? They don't know if it's live or not. It was recorded live. That's my favorite thing, too. Of course it was recorded live. Every damn thing was recorded live. Otherwise, it's weird. So, come on. So, we're going to have that recorded. So then when you send somebody, they're going to be able to watch the presentation. They're going to see all that chatter that was happening when we recorded it 6 months earlier. And then they're going to ask their questions. Guess what? No one's going to answer those questions because there's nobody there. They're watching it by themselves, and they don't know that. But their question gets captured, and their question is going to go to you because you used a special link to be able to go to this webinar. And it shows up in your inbox, and it goes, that person that you got to register for the webinar, you're the one that told them to go there. You gave them the link. It's tied to you. They wrote their questions. Now it's on you to be able to get those questions answered. How cool is that? Huh, how about that? That's going to happen. Those will be on Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and we'll figure out what the time is. That way they've got to register for it. We push it. It's a special event. Got a lot of people here today because it was a special event, right? Can't just come anytime. You got to come on this day. That's what we're going to do for this. Another thing that you're going to hear in funnels is hook, story, offer. It applies to everything, especially in everything's marketing, really, if you boil it down. The hook is how do you get somebody's attention, right? You have a significant other. There was something you did that hooked them into getting them to talk to you. Maybe you went across the courtyard and said, hey, we're having a party. That was the hook for Carrie. She showed up. Then tell a story. You tell them the story. You tell them about your life experiences. You tell them all the stuff that's going to relate. And they're going to hear that and they're going to say, son of a gun, that's just like what happened to me. Back pain guy. Huh, he's telling a story on this video. The hook was, hey, you want to fix that back pain thing? Yeah, what do you got? I got this video. Let me send it over to you. You need to watch this. And they click on it, and there's this guy talking about the exact thing that's going on in their life. Is that story is going to resonate with them, right? And then afterwards, there's an offer. You got to ask them, do you want to be a customer? Do you want to purchase this? That's the offer. Most of us, all we do is we just say, go to the website, fill out the thing, and they're going to exchange money for the product, right? Everybody with me? Just pretty standard? Is that a good enough offer? Not always, right? Because not everybody buys. But what if you gave away some extra stuff and you stacked an offer? Oh, you're loving this, ain't you?
It's the stack.
It's the stack. You make the offer so good that they can't say no. As an example, how much one of these? $800. Who will give me $5,000 for this one? Keep going. Why would you pay $5,000 when everybody goes, yeah, it's your mind? What's on it? What's in it? What if I had Oprah Winfrey's phone number, Tony Robbins' phone number, Eric Worre's phone number, the Hansons, the Taylors, and everybody else I could come up with, and those phone numbers are in here? Who would give me $5,000 for this now? What if it had every single training I've ever gone to on this thing? What have I done? The cost is one thing. The offer increased because there's more value in it. Well, Casey, we sell a commodity. Everybody sells it for the same thing. Absolutely. So you're not going to beat them on that part. What you got to beat them on is what do you offer with it? What's going to come with that? Well, what are we going to offer them? When you offer somebody the triangle of health, what's some examples of objections that they say right after you're solving their problems on not being able to sleep for the last 18 years, and now they got to come up with a bunch of BS? What's some of those things that they come up with? What if for each one of those secondary problems that you just created by offering them the triangle of health, you had solutions to each one of those? And you made them an offer that hit each one of those things. Can they say no? Not as likely.
They could.
They could. Then you just keep figuring that out and you keep giving them an offer. We're not having a problem with the product. We ain't having a problem on fixing stuff. We just have a problem with our offer. Our offer sucks. Right? That's it. You didn't make them an offer they couldn't refuse. Godfather style. So what if there was a couple things, I don't know, from a business partner perspective? What if you told them, like, look, it's $599 to get started? Oh, okay, that's kind of expensive. But, well, let me tell you what else you get, because you're thinking, I don't know what to do. What if there was a master class where you sit down with the guy that actually built this whole thing and he explains it, the entire thing, for an hour and a half? And then after that, you actually get a personal live launch with one of the top shooters in the organization. Shooter, you tell them that story. Learning videos, new content every week. You get all the old stuff plus the new stuff that we're going to keep adding into this every single week. What if there was live trainings that were streamed all the time that you could go to, like on Mondays and Thursdays, called Power Hour? What if there was a special big event called a regional training that we do, and on those, no matter where you're at in the world, you can actually attend those. There's a fee for that, but it's just to cover the cost of being able to stream that out. What if we also added dump truck driving classes where you get together with people that have actually done this before, since you're new and you're not going to know what to do, and you actually had a buddy that sat there with you and actually did the stuff that we do? What if there was a blueprint that showed you how this whole thing goes together? What if there were team events where you get to come to mansions and stuff and hang out and party? What if there was some swag and some neat little pins and shirts and giveaways and tchotchkes and all this? What if there was a community and not just a commodity? What if there was a membership site where all of these funnels happen to exist, all of the learning management system was there, and there's also this special thing where it keeps up with all of your contacts so you don't have to deal with that? Would that be something that you might be interested in starting a business with us with? Is that a whole lot easier sale as an offer? What if we kept adding to this until it's just ridiculous and they're like, oh God, shut up, take my money, I'm done, yes, I'm in. Or say, hey, you want to get started? $599. Maybe, I don't know. But that's what we're going to have. That's what funnels do. So that membership site, this is future, what my plan is for this. What if there was the jadefactory.com and you land on it, and you see a little dump truck driving around and dumping stuff and flinging coming up, and little beer people going out drinking red Solo cups out in the river, and it's all animated when they land. And there's a login and password that you go into. And when you go in there, there's 3 sections on this website. There's one that says funnels. And because you logged in with your business partner ID, all of the links, all of the everything pushes to your store on Kyani. When you copy, paste, and send, that little link is tied to you. So when they go through the process, it shows them the video and it gives the information on what they need to do to actually enroll or buy the product. Y'all tracking? What if there was 40 links that were there and there was a copy, and then you take that and you go send it to them however you send it to them? That'd be pretty neat, huh? What if there was a second spot when you logged in that was training? And on that training, it's got every single training video that's ever been done and that will be done and built. And it has each area that somebody says, hey, how do we do this? And there was a little video, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes for that one thing. Not a power hour. That's an hour where we cover 16 different topics, but it's a 5-minute thing that's just that thing. Well, if we had everything that we've ever asked and had a question about was right there. Not for y'all, because y'all already know it, but for your new guy. What if there was a little, after they watched that, there was a little quiz that they would have to actually take to make sure that they actually paid attention to the damn thing to begin with? And when they call you, you get a little report that comes up and it says, how do I do such and such? I just told you how to do it. I see that you haven't taken the test. Go watch the damn video. Leave me alone. Or PC that up, however you need to PC that up. Got a pretty neat tool to be able to do this. It's actually the one that Grant Cardone uses. It's the same one that Tony Robbins uses, and we'll be able to do this. There's a fee for it. It comes out to about $2 a month to be able to have that set up per user. So this will be a paid thing that we will do for the Jade Factory to be able to cover the cost for this. What if you could go in and order all your swag from another link in there as well for all your Jade Factory stuff that you want to have? What if there was neat little dump truck squishies? That'd be fun. Stress balls. It can be. What if anybody remember HubSpot? My shoes probably do. So this was a tool, that's a free tool, but it was heavy, it was complicated. It wasn't complicated, there's a lot going on, let's just say that. It wasn't as straightforward to the non-technical person as I would like. What if there was a way that you could click on a third link that says prospects or raw material, or whatever we want to call it, and when you click on that, it says enter in a new prospect. And it's just one page, and you just put the information in, it shows what's required. And then there's an actual workflow that happens, what happens next? Well, you need to reach out to them. And when you click on that, it somehow magically pulls up a little thing, and you have a recipe book for all the different ways to be able to reach out to them. And then maybe you could just go in there and copy and just paste that, and just copy and then paste that, and go through all the different chatter with them on that step. And then what if you had a spot where you could enter in this new conversation that would get captured too to add to the recipe book? And then when it gets done and it's like, okay, yeah, I would like to see what do you got, you send them one of the 40 funnels, because that's all built into the workflow, and you click that and that goes out. And it's all automated. You got to operate the factory, but the robots are doing all the work. That'd be cool, huh? So that's not ready yet, just so y'all know. But here's how this is going to go. I'm going to build all this out just as soon as y'all make it where we need that. So when y'all go start driving this dump truck, guess where I'm going to take the money that's going to come out of this thing and reinvest it in? Imagine what that's going to do. Imagine the scale of what this thing can turn into. It's insane. So that's where we're going. So, perfect. Any questions on that so far? Anybody like what you're hearing?
Yes.
Cool. So, Casey, that's a whole bunch of stuff. I liked all the ideas. When are we going to do what and first? So this was scribbling all that out, and I think I got this. We'll go ahead and do here. So June, July, and August, is going to be driving that dump truck. Everybody get in your dump truck, have somebody with you until you know how to drive it, and then actually go drive the damn dump truck. And get people to take a look at what we do by going through all those steps. Finding out what they want, having the conversation with them, find out where it hurts, show them that you actually care about what they just told you and you don't see them as dollar signs, and then passing them to the proof. You could be the proof on the customer side. You could point them to Wellness Simplified. You can tell a story, however we want to continue doing that. Then somewhere around August, we'll have the funnels built out. I don't know if we'll have all 40 of them, but that will be and is currently moving. If you see David and Tara pop up missing every once in a while, or I pop up missing, we're actually going through that process and building these right now. We're in the middle of our own 30-day challenge on how to actually construct these. I bought this back in January, and then that's when I realized I gotta have some help, and their help, they're so good. So we'll have funnels ready to go, and you'll be able to start using those. It's not gonna be this is how we're gonna build it, just so everybody's clear. It's not gonna walk in and it's gonna look like this mansion, right? There's gonna be sawdust everywhere. There's gonna be sheetrock over here. There's gonna be a mess, all right? But this is how it's gotta go. It's not going to be perfect the first go around. It's about getting it out, getting it published, and then we'll pretty it up, put a can of paint on it. Okay? All right? It's not, this ain't buying off the showroom floor because this don't exist. This is putting it together in your backyard and putting the parts and sanding and all that stuff. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. At 100%. That recipe, where all that's coming from, all of that flows into this whole thing. This is my goofball brain on how that works. And you got to have the first part before you can build the next part, before you can build the next part. If you're building a house, you don't put the roof in first. You don't paint the outside of it first. You pour the concrete. You put the foundation. And that's what you guys will be. And we're beyond that. We're not at that. It's framed in and it's dry right now. Okay. And now it's time to do the carpentry work and do all the cool automation and things like that going into it. So come September, we're going to kick this thing into overdrive. You have a question?
Yes.
What you got? I didn't see it there.
That's right. You mentioned the clicking on for training and such. Is that going to be all in-house, or will pull people like the Mendoza, the Hedricks, and other pull people of people county training?
Anybody that wants to offer that to me for free that I can put in there is more than welcome to. Yep. And it'll be everybody in this room. I want y'all saw our last regional. It was insanely, unbelievably awesome, right? So it's not, I don't want to record that many videos, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna need y'all's help. When you have something and you feel that you own that subject, freaking record a video, sit in front of your phone or your laptop and record them. It doesn't have to be high quality production. It's just got to be the stuff. Once we see what everybody likes and the ones that are getting the views and the ones that people are using, and we want to put a new coat of paint on that and put it in a studio and something like that, heck yeah. But just get it out there so that they feel. And when they see that, that's huge, people. Everybody thinks it's got to be perfect. It's got to be real. And when people, if it's too polished, they're going to discount it. If it's real and you've been in the muck with them, they're going to feel that. Good question. So funnels are going to be launched, and then in September, October, November, we're going to have a little thing. So let's talk about that for the scale side. So we're going to do what's called a 90-day blitz. If any of you ever listened to Eric Worre before, that's where this has come from. The idea of the summit came from a blitz that we did in Ambit in my previous company, and it was insane. We blew up after we did that. We can trace so much back to those 90 days, and we didn't know what we were doing when we did it. We've done a launch here when we first got started. We went nuts. We did the summit, which was a light one. That was a 50-day thing. Since then, we've done a 30-day summit. A lot of y'all are here because of that. Okay? So what this is going to be is a 90-day thing. What is a blitz? It is a period of time that you're going to take some massive action. you're really going to push hard. You're going to set your mind up for this. It's not something you just decide that you're going to do a blitz tomorrow. Okay? Y'all went on a hike today. Some of y'all trained for that hike. Some of y'all made that decision today that you were going on that. Some of you made the decision that you weren't going on that. The Bears got a couple of y'all. But that isn't what this is. This is this trip. Y'all didn't just make the determination to be here at this trip yesterday. You made this determination a long time ago. There's a lot that went into it. There was a whisper campaign that goes on where you talk about it, get all the stuff figured out. This requires the same type of thing because of the effort that you're going to put into it. It's not a run by the seat of your pants. There'll be a countdown clock that's going to be happening that's going to go to September 3rd, and that's when the launch is going to occur. That's when we take off and we do this blitz. It's going to end on Saturday, November 30th. Now, technically, that's 87 days, but I was counting, so don't worry about it. We'll go ahead and call it 90. It fits better on the calendar. It starts on September 3rd because on September 2nd is a holiday, Labor Day. The week before that, most people's school has already begun. So we're going to be out of the mode where everybody, I can't start a new business in the summer. We're going to be on vacation. Like, you're going to be on vacation for 4 days, man. You ain't off for all summer, but whatever. So we're going to go with human nonsense, and that's going to give us time to do what we need to do to get the funnels in place and have all this ready to go. So that's the timeline. The ultimate goal is we're going to put 1,000 screaming maniacs in Vegas at the Eric Worre event wearing some Jade Factory shirts. December 11th. 11th, 12th, and 13th. I believe that's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. One of them. Yeah, it's a middle of the week thing. Yep. So this will also have it's going to be a movement. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a bonding experience. We'll have recognition throughout, certificates, just a couple of the items, not a complete list, but it's going to be a pretty neat thing. It's going to be a pretty neat thing. It's going to be having phone calls on Sundays, casting vision. It's going to be presentations that are being done online. There'll be some face-to-face sit-downs. We'll do PBRs in there, but those won't be a scheduled before the whole thing starts. It'll be as necessary. There'll be dump truck driving lessons going on with the new people that are coming in. There'll be launches for all the stuff coming in, but it's going to be this whole thing is framed up in this 90-day window of this project. The first 30 days, this is how you break it out. Each month, September's first 30 days, October, November, 30 days each time. What you do in your first 30 days is each of you will find your inner circle. You'll take your inner circle. Where are they going to come from? You want to build this inner circle. Now, you might have people coming in prior to that, but you really want to focus on, I want to bring in 20 people in the month. Some of you might be going, that's so many. I can't do that. Your terrorist already got a hold of you. You figure out what that number is for you, but I hope a lot of you go for 20. I'm not saying that you got to get 20 every month. I'm not saying you got to get 20 every year. I'm saying you need to change your life in 90 days, and this will do it if you'll let it do it, if you'll put the effort in. I don't know that many people. I'm going to have numbers that say if you plug in X number of people, you get this many people out. That's where you go find your 20. Or what you can do is build your team so big between now and then that you are just working with all those people to do that. But that means you got to have 20 already, okay? By the end of this month, the first month, you need to have 20. What if I don't hit that? Then start with what you got and keep going from there, okay? Don't stop, though. Everybody's fired up the first month. By about week 6, you're like, what the hell am I doing? That's about October 15th. And that's when everybody's going to start dropping like flies. I know it already. That's just how it goes. Only one that determines if that's not going to be you is you. Then so what are we doing during this month? Massive exposures. Driving the dump truck. It is all about doing this thing that we've been doing all summer. and getting everybody that's come in since then to take that massive action and for you to make one crazy, crazy last push. I'm not joking about just doing one or two. Eric Worre's done 2 of these in his life. The first one got him to $1 million within 11 months of doing it. From being a nobody to topping his company and $1 million earner in 1 year. Before Eric Worre was Eric Worre. He was like some other guy, right? Because he just did the work. And it's not about, somebody said earlier, and I'll protect the innocent here, I'm slow and steady. Don't be slow and steady. Take off like an air. You ever see an airplane take off slow and steady? You ever see that happen? It's usually on fire in the trees right past the runway. Everybody died. What do? You go all out, all the way, push it. They don't take off at 92%. They take off at 100% max throttle so that they can actually go. Do they sustain that at max throttle? No, they'll run out of gas, right? They're not afterburners the whole time. They do that to get to altitude. Then what do? They coast. They're still doing stuff, but they didn't have to take off like that. And they can coast for a long time. And then what do? They get all the people that came with them and they show them how to do the same thing. And they keep doing that. But it's not slow and steady. You do slow and steady, you're going to be miserable. You take one burst of action, a nuts crazy, like, oh boy, this is it. And you'll change everything. That's what we're doing. Daily goals, massive action. Sunday night, we'll have vision casting calls, recognition. We'll call out every single person that got a customer and a business partner from Saturday to Saturday. We'll make the announcement on Sunday. People will run through a brick freaking wall to get their name called out on that phone call. I'm telling you this right now. Okay? Some of you in here would do that too. It feels good. You want to be recognized for that. That's what we're going to do. And we'll sustain that action. If you don't have all the little toys along the route, they lose interest and go scurry off. You got to be able to sustain that with them. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, we'll have presentations automated, or we'll do Saturday. I don't know just yet. We've got time to sort out those details, but that's the concept. Tuesday, Thursdays, we'll have launches. These will be master classes that we'll have, special events that we're going to be doing. I'm not going to give a launch every Thursday and every Tuesday live. That's not going to happen. But we'll have that be the designated night to be able to do those. So make that be your bowling night. Make that be your pool night each week for 90 days. It's 12 weeks. It's a season. It's not forever. Power hours on Mondays and Thursdays. That'll be live. You still need, it's not just staying in the dump truck and driving. You got to then pull over every once in a while and say, you just ran over 6 trees. Okay? And there might be an old lady back there that didn't make it. I don't know. Here's the review, and you got to give them some training. You got to give them a little new stuff. And guess what? We're going to record that, and that'll go in, and we'll chop that up. We'll have a lot more topics that we can add to the entire organization. And we're going to push Vegas like our lives depend on it. Be non-negotiable on this. There's some people that are here today because we had a chat. So be non-negotiable within reason, right? And let me explain what I believe within reason is. You're getting married or you plan on dying. But beyond that, get your ass to Vegas. That's what I mean by that. And unless that's happening at that moment, your water better break in the stadium. I'm not that crazy. I'm close, but I'm not that crazy. Okay. What are we going to, so at the end of your first 30 days, the goal is that you have 20 people fired up, ready to go. New people that came in. Let's break down those first 30 days. I don't have this written, but I'll give it to you verbally. 10-day sections in your first 30 days. The first 10 days, insane amount of reach outs. Your fingers hurt because you've been typing and texting. And by that time, you're going to know what to do, and I'll let you even call them on the phone and talk to them. You're going to run into people at the grocery store. You're going to go set up coffees, but you're going to reach out to everybody. But you can do a whole lot more this way than you can this way, okay? And we will approve that out throughout the summer. But the first 10 days is pushing like crazy on reaching out, reconnecting, building the relationship up, and finding out where it hurts. The second 10 days is getting them in front of the information, either customer or business. What's that going to be? A funnel. Now, are they going to watch it right then? No, they're not. It's going to take them a couple days. They're not going to do it. In those 10 days, you're doing everything you can to set this up so that you are getting that information in front of them. If you want to give a presentation, do it. That is still the best way of all time, is to you give them that presentation. You don't have to. You can click the little button. But the big thing is that they actually put their eyeballs on that presentation, however you got to get that done. That's the second 10 days. The last 10 days is closing. It's overcoming their objections. It's making the offer stack so good that whatever they're concerned about, this is meeting. And then they're in. And you can do that with 20 people. It's not that hard. It's probably about 600 to 700 reach outs. Some of you might have just freaked out right there. Guess what? There's 2 billion people on Facebook. I didn't do the math on what percentage that is of 600 to 700 out of the 2 billion, but it's pretty freaking small. Meet some new people. Say hi. Join some groups. Do some Facebook Lives. You'll start meeting all sorts of people. Okay? It's a choice. They're out there. So when we get done with those 3 10-day sprints, we will have our first 30 days. And if we do it right, we'll have 20 people that just joined your organization. Does everybody see that as a possibility? If you don't see that as a possibility, raise your hand for me. If you don't see a possibility, I mean, you got it all figured out, but it's at least within the realm of possibility that you could have 20 people by the end of that 30-day thing. If you don't think you can do that, raise your hand. All right, for the recording, nobody raised their hand, and there's 30-something people here. So that's the first 30 days. What do you do in the second 30 days? I want you to go find another 700 people. No, you don't have to do that. You already did that. You're done with that part. What do? You make sure your 20 people go do what you just did. How do you do that? You check on them. How many people did you send it out to? You show them what you just did. Not that hard when they say, well, you did it, I can do that. You're just like me. If you can do it, I can do it. Or they'll look at you like, if you did it, I'm going to kill this thing. Right? So what do they do on day 31 to day 40? It's their first 10-day cycle. What do they do? Do the calisthenics on their thumbs, stretch them out for them, and then say, and don't say, sit there with them. Grab their thumbs if you must, and do it for them. Because guess what? Some of you, I don't know 600 people. Guess what? There's 600 new people in their list that have never heard about this before, and you have direct access to them. Pretty powerful, huh? So that's what happens in the first 10 days. What happens in the second 10 days? You're checking on all the people to make sure that these brand new people who are talking to their prospects know where to go. You're directing traffic. You're saying, here's how you use this funnel thing. Here's how you copy and paste. Here's how you get somebody, here's the address. Here's the webinar that's going on. You're directing traffic. Guest speakers, because they're going to be tired of hearing the same speakers. We're going to have new people come in. Guess what these 20 people are going to do? They're going to get 20 people. Can they get 20 people? Yeah. If they'll reach out to 600 or 700, they will. Can they do that? Absolutely. Are they going to do that? You know who's going to determine that? It's actually you. Because we say it a lot of times, well, if they want it bad enough, they'll do it. True statement. Absolute fact. Do you want to help them go do it? Because that is an even better option. Let's go clean your room. If you'll do that with them, what is that? Show them how to use the recipe book. Explain this concept. Is this concept hard? No. Can you explain it to them? No. If you can't, you can point to somebody else that can explain it to them. Just direct the traffic and get in there with them. Don't expect them to do it. They're not going to do it. The same reason that people aren't doing it right now. Doesn't matter how good the factory is. Are they driving the dump truck? How do you know? You're in the cab of the truck with them. Have an event at your place. I'll show you how to set up a Zoom. What are you doing that? That's all it is. That's really all it is. Everything else is taken care of. So at the end of this 30 days, guess what? You have 400 people in your organization. Some of you just absolutely said, you're full of shit. In some form or fashion, you don't believe that. It's math. It's 20 people, and each of them reach out to 600 people. Okay, see, not everybody's going to do that. I know that. I'm good with that. But it's possible, and it's highly likely. These numbers aren't that extreme. They're really not. It all breaks down to the basics of what we do. What are you going to be doing during this? So those 200 or those 20 are getting 20. There's 400. What are you doing? You're making sure those people are clear on where to go. Pushing Vegas constantly. As people are coming in, the first words out of your mouth on anybody that you ever meet in any form or fashion is, hey, you going to Vegas? You going to Vegas? Are you going to Vegas? You're not going, what the hell? How are you not going to Vegas? Say yes, tell the world, figure it out. Haven't you heard him say that before? That's what I want everybody to do. Because when you do that, possibilities start arising. They start seeing how they can instead of already, oh, I can't go to that. What the hell you can? Of course you can. And I want to show you how. And you get them here. There's a lot of people that have come to this event because we actually made that push. One's sitting right there. One's coming in at midnight. $83 in her bank account when she got started a couple weeks ago. And she's here. It's insane. Now, this is where I'm really going to lose a couple of you. Because those 400 people in your business, what are they going to do in November? They're going to go get 20 people. Now, you intellectually get that, but when I say that means you got 8,000 people in your organization, Claire's about to have an aneurysm right now. That's it. That's it. And did you see that shotgun that Kathy just pulled out? That was awesome. You just wounded him. Shoot him again. That's double barrel shotguns for a reason, too. I love it. What is this? What are we doing here? We're pointing, we're directing traffic on a bigger scale. Use tools. You're not talking to 8,000 people directly, but you're going to send some emails. You're going to talk to people. You're going to be on Zooms. They're going to see you. You can set up a Zoom call and you can have thousands of people on there. What am I going to tell them? You're going to tell them where the bathroom is, what time lunch is, and to get their ass to Vegas. That's all you're going to do. Make sense? Massive dump truck driving, teaching, recognition, get to Vegas, get to Vegas, get to Vegas. So now all of y'all have 8,000 people in your organization. And I promise you, until you get your brain wrapped around that, there's not a chance in hell of you having 8,000 people in your organization. Until you can clearly see that, it ain't gonna happen. That's on y'all too. I can see it. Holy crap. So, 8,000 people. For each of you, do you think if you had 8,000 people come in your organization, you could get 1,000 of them to go to Vegas?
Yeah.
Right? 7,000 people said no, but 1,000 said yes. You could. That's not crazy. Let's say that just with everybody in this room, let's really, good catch. Let's really shrink this down for possibilities. Let's dumb it way down. Let's say that of the 8,000 people in your organization, let's say that I'm wrong by 90%. So what does that leave? 10% of that, 700, 800 people in your organization, if I'm off by 90%, okay? So if you did 1/10 of that, that's 800 people. Out of 800 people, how many do you think we can get to Vegas? 100? Same numbers, right? Chop to 0. So can you get 100 people to Vegas on your team? Your head got around that one, right?
Yeah.
So somewhere in between there is probably what reality is. Because if you can see it, that's great. You want to have that stretch goal, the one that's like, dude, that freaks me the hell out. Right? When I was looking at it, when I came up with 200,000 people, 400,000 hurt my brain. I couldn't get my head there. So I went down one, and that was the 200,000. Now I got 1 million in my head. But we're going to hit 200,000 before we start changing all the documents. So that big number, 8,000, is messing with you, but 800, you do that. And of the 800, 100 of them come to the event. So let's say there's 30 people here. I think that's about right. Maybe a little shy of that. We'll have 30 later. Let's say it's 20. 20 of y'all bring 100 people. That's just who we got right now, not all the people we're going to build doing what I just talked about doing to September. So the person that wins is who does the most work in the pre-launch into the Whisper campaign. You want to build your team as big as possible between now and then. How do you do that? Dump truck driving. You do that, 100 is just going to be a joke on how many that you're going to take to Vegas. But if it was, and we did all that, that'd be 2,000 people in our organization that goes there. There was 20 of us last year, 30 of us. No, there's more than that. There was 40. 35, yeah, 35, 40, somewhere in there. Yeah, and then the rest of the 50 tickets that I got were sold off to some other teams. So what if we just took 200 people? What if I dumbed that down one more time? Out of the 2,000 I just mentioned, after I dumbed it down 90%, and that's 2,000 people, what if we dumbed that down to just 200 people, and another 90% of them didn't make it? I did that twice, just so that y'all can get your head wrapped around. Going from 35 to 200 people in Vegas, you know what that does for the organization? It's insane. Absolutely insane. That's the ones that went to Vegas, right? Y'all starting to see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the schedule, because that was a whole lot. You're not going to remember all of it. You don't need to remember all of it. You just need to get the big buckets. So if you're really just writing down the bare bones, Dave, this is what you actually want to write down. So May, International Leadership Academy, dump truck driving lessons. June, one conversational way challenges that I'm leading, and the dump truck driving lessons that the shooters are going to be leading off of what we're getting ready to do here in about 30 minutes. July, one conversational way challenges, same thing. Dump truck driving lessons, and we start our Whisper campaign. We'll know where we're at on the funnels, make sure everything on this timeline. This is a project, folks. Let me explain how that works, and that's what I've done for many, many years. You have a project. You have a game plan. Nothing is going to go right. Everything's going to go wrong, and you have contingency plans for each of those. And when we do this personality test, you'll see that that's what they wrote about me. That's how my brain works. So we're going to shoot for all of this. We're going to start this Whisper campaign, and this is when you tell everybody, dude, you know that thing I've been doing that you said no to me? Yeah, give me your credit card. Why? You need in before this thing launches because, oh my God. And you can mean it. It's not hype, it's not BS. There's actually something coming, like crazy. And that's why I didn't say Whisper campaign in May and June. Y'all know how I roll. When it's ready, it'll be ready, and I'll tell you. And then we start that Whisper campaign. August, just get in the rocket ship. Don't ask what seat. Just get your ass on the plane. Let's go. That's what it's going to be. That's what we're going to push. And then that's going to get their excitement. That's the hook. And what's the story? You tell them the story about all the stuff that's going on, and you'll see all of that. And then you pass it over to the funnel, or you pass it over like we've been doing, and we explain to them. Nothing different from what we've been doing, just packaged a little different. Then the funnels are ready. And then we kick into the blitz. September, first 30 days, 20 new BPs. October, those 20, we show them where the bathroom is. We show them how to go do the work. We get in the dump truck with them, not just talking about what needs to be done. I'm telling you, everything I said today, the biggest thing is stop telling them and do it with them. And then November, last 30 days, those 400 get 20. We got 8,000. We bring 1,000 of them to Vegas. And those are your numbers, not my numbers.
What's the hook we're using to get people to Vegas? What are we telling them about Eric in the event?
We'll worry about that when we get there. Yep, but there will be, it is, look, man, you come to this thing, it's all over. It's the best event and you never go to. We'll have so many videos about it. How many people are here because they saw a video of Tracy Peterson and Mary Millward, and it was, I know at least one or two. Just that video alone got people. We'll have videos of everybody in our team talking about Vegas, and it'll just be insane. That testimonial level of that's the offer. They'll hear that, they'll like, if that did it for her, it'll do it for me. And we'll push that, and we'll push that. Any questions about any of this?
Are you recording?
Yep. I am recording. Anybody completely lost, confused, don't know what the hell I just said? Anybody kind of in shock a little bit, or I'm having trouble reading y'all right now?
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, you're a numbers guy, and I'm really not, so, when you said 8,000,
Mhm.
what level is that?
Oh, God.
Cause oh, come on.
The value.
Stand by. I get it, but it's up there. Let's do it this way. If you have 200 people come in your organization in 1 month, that's diamond. And that's 100,000. And we're talking about 80 times that. 8 million.
We are on a
QV.
mission to make this entire.
That would probably be double red. Hardcore double red, almost black. Almost black.
Let's go simple, let's go 400.
Almost black. Huh?
Only 400. Where are you at when you get 400 people?
Just shy of blue diamond. About 200,000 QV. So yeah, you would be a strong double red and almost black. Black is 10 million QV. Yep. Honestly, think back on what they did in Confusion to start with. And they weren't doing it this way. What were they doing? They were throwing up on everybody. That's the difference. Who wants to do that? And does it sustain?
You want to throw up on everything?
The double red diamond part.
Yeah, sure, I understand.
Honestly, how many presentations did James do? Oh. How many did he sponsor? 10. 10. It's crazy. It's just a matter, do you believe in it or not? If you don't believe in it, guarantee it won't. You go slow, guarantee it won't. Because what's the X factor of all this I didn't talk about is the momentum that comes together with this is the X factor. That momentum, that fire that comes in, oh my gosh. Y'all are feeling a little bit of it right here, being in this group, being where we are right now. This weekend, you're going to feel that again. You can go home and let all that wash over you and just not do a damn thing with it, or you can go take your little dump truck out and start running over things. If you do, with what we have, it will make what they did look cute and adorable. I'm not joking about that.
That's fun.
With retention.
True growth and retention. Not House of Cards style. How many of them have ranked up since then? Again, in that little personality test, I don't give a shit about somebody's title. That's what it said in the thing. That's not my words. It actually said that. You don't give a shit about that. If what it is doesn't hold up, it doesn't hold up. I'm just calling what it is. If they get mad about it, I don't care. I honestly don't. I don't need any of that. Is it nice to have it? Absolutely. Do we need it? No. And does it work? It doesn't sustain. You can hype it all day long. You can say how everybody's in momentum. No, one little spot is in momentum. And the rest of them are scorched, burnt to the ground, never to be replanted again. We have more people in this room than they had in Dallas in their last PBO, in their last DFY.
That's what we're doing next week's law.
Hmm?
That's what everything else is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not picking on them. I'm just telling you the process they're using. You can make good money with that. Don't get me wrong. You can help a lot of people with that. That's not what that's not what my
They don't have to.
thank you.
Yeah, that's the difference.
They had somebody close, but I'm just dusting all his stuff off. Cool. All right. Now let's go get it done. All right. So we got rest of the stuff coming up. Let me give you a quick, not bad, 6 minutes over. So for the rest of the day, what we're going to do is make sure you've taken that personality test. That sucker was awesome. So hats off to Sherry for finding that. That was way cool.
If you have not taken it, go to the number 16, 16personalities.com.
Or it's in the Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Maybe they have it in the hotel.
1,000 different ways.
That's one more step. Because we've got to just type it in your web browser, 16personalities.com. Right there.
Question?
It was brought up by Betsy Terry Carter a little earlier. Can you update your thing that we send education? It's 14, 15 months old or something. You've changed a lot since then. There's a way that you can update that and get it to us.
Yeah. I can do that.
Thank you.
All right. So for the rest, all right, real quick, rest of the day, make sure you take that personality test. Shooters are going in 30 minutes. We're going to be downstairs in the media room. If y'all will give us a little bit of time in there to do that, we're going to be recording video as well in there. So you guys enjoy the house, go for another hike, jump in the hot tub, start drinking, whatever you want to do. Enjoy yourself. Please have another sandwich, drink some more Cokes, and have some chips. We're going to do after we get done with that, we should start that around 3-ish. We should be done about 4:30. We'll meet back in here at around 4:30 or so. And then that's where we'll go over Sherry's got a couple of activities we're going to do with the personality test that y'all took. So make sure you got that done. And then we'll be done about 5:15, and then that'll be the end of work stuff. We'll still be talking about it. Meet people if you haven't met them yet. Find out what they do so that you can use them for stories, okay? So that you can share the stories. Is everything in this business is the story, all right? Dinner should be delivered at 6:15 or 6:30. I need to look. I think it's 6:30. That's going to be chicken, chipotle, pineapple thing, and petite sirloin. It's going to be mixed vegetables. It's going to be potatoes. Make sure you douse it with a lot of cheese. It's going to be rolls. And then trying to think what else. I think that's everything that's going to happen on that. We'll have some more people be coming in. Matt White and his crew's coming. Carrie and Baby and my mother-in-law's going to be here. So they'll be rolling in. And then we're going to have a good night tonight. A lot of fun. Not telling you not to drink it up, but tomorrow is going to be for the Sapphires that want to attend. That's going to be from 9 o'clock to noon. So that means you need to get out of here and you need to get your bags. You need to drop those off at your hotel. You need to go get registered, and then you got to be there at 9. I'm going to tell you all right now, I'm not going to do that. That's just how I'm rolling, but not saying that if you're a Sapphire, if you want to go to that, go to that.
I don't know that any Sapphires will be able to check in their hotels.
No, they're going to drop their bag off on that. Yeah. You got to get there, drop your bag off, and then you would go register. Just leave it at the bellhop, and they'll be able to do that. For everybody else, for tomorrow, we have to be, the door locks at 11, okay? So if we're in here and it locks at 11, we got to pay, y'all have to pay more, okay? So, so make sure you're out, and I would anticipate, go ahead and just plan on 10:30, and then if you're off a little bit, 10:45, and then you'll keep my blood pressure in check, okay? Checkout procedures is basically, we got to get all the towels out. Didn't say anything about sheets, but get all the towels that you use, and we'll go ahead and start a load of that. That's what it asked in the thing. Make sure that the dishwasher gets loaded up, and we'll run it right as we're getting ready to leave. All the trash needs to be brought, so bring that down. There are, if you go out in the garage, And then there's a little driveway area right there. And then right behind this is a whole bunch of trash cans. So just make sure that the trash makes it there. And I'll look at the rest of that and send that on Messenger so that y'all can see the whole list of that, so you don't have to remember that. But let's plan on being out of here at 10:30, 10:45 at the latest, and then off we go. For people that are not Sapphires and wondering what am I going to do tomorrow, when you leave here, drop your bags off like we mentioned, and then there's a lot of great things that you can do. Go get registered, get your packet, get all that stuff taken care of. Make sure you get all your, know where you're going for the road rally, knowing where the pickup is, or figure out if you're going to do an Uber, if you're going to ride with somebody to get to that. And then that's going to be the extent of tomorrow. It'll be Sapphire training, and it'll be the road rally. Those are the two big things that are happening. The county store will be open. They got a lot of good stuff in there if y'all want to have things. Yeah.
That's why lots of museums with the walking distance in the convention center. So if you get a little bit bored, all you do is look for museums.
Yeah, and there's one, we were going to go on Tuesday, but we had too much fun on Monday, so we didn't go on Tuesday. So that's available to go check that out. Yes, ma'am.
Dave Patrick shirts to the road rally.
Yes, thank you. So if you're looking to wear your new Jade Factory shirt, the road rally is definitely the time to do that. So yeah, wear that sucker. People ask what it is. Tell them what you think it is, and that'll be absolutely awesome. Pictures today. When we get done with the personality test thing, before dinner gets here, I'd like to line up. Mr. Carter has offered to take some pictures of us. So he'll figure out lighting and where and all that good stuff. So just make sure as soon as we get done with that personality test, give yourselves a few minutes that we can go get that picture taken, and be good to be able to use that in your future of saying, I was at this thing, use the heck out of it. Take video, walk through the house right now, take video, record something, right? Get some pictures of something here and use this so that people get here. That's the hook, right? Hook, story, offer. The hook is, what the hell are you doing? You can just send a picture. You can send Sherry's video that she did, right? That's why I got all of y'all to line up with me and walk through the house so that it was more interesting. People are going to be, what the hell were you doing in Salt Lake? Oh, man. Don't tell them. Find out what they've got going on, all right? That's what we do. That's how we use that. So make sure you use this for that. Yes, ma'am.
Friday night, Miles is having a Team Fusion thing. Well, do we have plans for something?
Yes. So I've got us through Thursday for the road rally. Friday is the actual convention get started. The times are posted on that. I don't remember off the top of my head. Just look at that. There'll be our first session. There'll be a lunch break, and then there'll be a second session, and then that'll let out, I think, around 6 or something like that, right? 6. And then from 6 till there'll be a Ruby reception. I'm going to go to that again for pictures, and then I can send that out and I can use that. But what will be, you'll do dinner at that point, and then at 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock is the team meetings. So Team Fusion is having one. Dream Team will have one. I'm sure the Spanish organization will have one. And I don't plan on going to the Team Fusion one. They're going to do a business presentation. Not my best choice on how to spend time with that many people in the room. So y'all can watch that online if you want to for a business presentation. I'd rather spend that time together. So we're going to have a lot more people from the team joining for the rest of the event, and I want to be able to sit down with all of them. And so if you'd like to come to that, we're going to figure out where we're going to have that. I think it'll be at the Marriott. I'm going to get checked into the Marriott. I'm going to walk around and find a good spot for us to be able to hang out in the lobby, and then we get together. That way it'll be that team bonding where everybody kind of looks around like, holy crap, there's a lot of us here. And I want them to be able to see that for the people that weren't at the mansion, but all the people that are coming to join us. That make sense? So that'll be on Friday around 8 o'clock, and it'll probably go till 9 at the most. So you'll have time to go grab a bite, and then we'll meet up and we'll have the location all figured out. Just spread the word on that once you see the details. Yes, ma'am.
And then I remembered, Lon was saying on Saturday, he wanted everybody to wear their Team Fusion shirt. Well, we wear our JD
Did he say where?
to the convention. Anyway,
I think
that's
it was Team
what he had
Fusion. I think
said.
it was
so-
Friday was Team Fusion colors.
Yeah.
Is what it stated, which was suited and booted
Yeah.
in Team Fusion colors.
Yeah.
It was Friday.
I think that was.
Friday.
So as far as all that, feel free, wear whatever you want, but no, I'm not wearing a t-shirt to the convention. So
How do you guys will do all your shopping tomorrow, Thursday?
yes, there's going to be some announcements. When those announcements are made, you'll want to be in line at the store to get what they're going to announce. If you want to buy anything else, do that beforehand. So tomorrow would be a great day. Get yourself checked in, go to the store. If you want to buy any swag from Kiani perspective, that would be the time to do it without a doubt.
What day do you expect this announcement?
I don't know. Friday or Saturday, I'll say that. It will be before Sunday.
Before the game.
Right? All right. Any other questions? These are great questions. Keep them coming. Yes, sir.
The one thing that I want to leave you guys with is, after this presentation, the one overall thing is that we have to believe. Belief is everything. The time and the effort and the things that the cases put into place and the things that we're all doing, you guys have to believe, right? That this is going to work. This is going to be the ticket. This is it. I can only express to you guys how excited and how amazed the next 90 days is going to
Versus here.
Yeah.
be. The 90 days is going to be amazing. So I want you guys to just believe in the system, believe that it's going to work, believe that we have the best interest for you guys all, and that there's not 1 minute that does not go by where we don't flash you guys' faces in front of us to change your family, to change your generation. That's what we're after. It's changing generations. This is not just about us. Just like Ms. Joanna was talking about, she wants to buy cars for every single last one of her grandchildren. How amazing is that going to be? So believe in that. Visualize that, right? Not just believe in it, but just picture yourself already there. It's already been done. Your day was already planned before it started. This is done. So just believe. That's what I ask you guys. Just believe.
Yes, ma'am.
And once you believe, take the action. Because we can believe all day, but until every one of us, me included, we take the action, it's not gonna happen.
Imperfect action. That's the one thing we're learning is taking imperfect action.
Yes. Get
It
it
doesn't
out.
matter if it looks pretty, it doesn't matter if it looks good, just get it out.
My last thing I'd like to add is the fact that we all have a terrorist, we all know we have a terrorist. Terrorist gets our ass every day, no matter what, so when you guys recognize the terrorist has you, ask for help, or if someone comes to you to say, hey, I recognize the terrorist has your ass, be open to that, because it's cancerous. If you allow that thing to breathe, it will affect the rest of this entire factory, so know that.
True statement.
Just be a teammate in that. Knowing that we're all gonna have good days and bad days, absolutely. But that's what it makes us.
Anybody else? This is awesome. Love it.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you to Sherry and Tara. If y'all had not helped me with what y'all helped me with, y'all would all be having like ramen noodles and hot dogs and no propane. So thank you. Round of applause for them, seriously. All right. So let's meet at shooters. Let's meet at in 10 minutes downstairs. Walter.
Yes, ma'am.